Rolling.
Okay. Good morning. I want to welcome you to our couples workshop where we're going to be working on communication and connection with ourselves and with our partners, and also with our equine partner here. His name is Django, and he's going to assist me this morning. So, what are we going to be exploring today? Today we are going to be exploring our relationships, our relationship and our connection to ourself, as well as our connection to our partners. And we are going to use our friend Django here to support us with that journey. So some of the things I want you to remember are that there's nothing that you have to do here today. There's nothing that you can do right, and there's nothing that you can do wrong. What I want to encourage is for you just to be curious and to explore what comes up for yourself. As you're out here, you'll have an opportunity to spend time one-on-one with the horse, and then later in the afternoon, we'll spend time with you and your partner taking the horse through some exercises together. So, how can horses help us in our relationships? You might be wondering. Horses mirror back and reflect the energy that we bring into a space. And the way that they do that is that they are sensitive in responding to the energy in their environment, because they are prey animals and they have to be very aware of their environment to keep themselves safe. So the energy that I bring into a space with Django, he reflects back to me, much like our partners do in our relationships. And I'm just gonna move him a little bit. Come. Out of the way. Thank you. So, just like our partners respond to and sometimes react to us, Django and animals like Django also respond and sometimes react to the energy that we bring in. The difference between horses and our human partners is that horses don't make up stories about the things that we do and the way that we engage with them, which our partners do. So working with horses is a great opportunity just to get in the moment real feedback about the energy that we're bringing, the clarification of our communication, the boundaries that we're setting or not setting. So it's a great space to play with many of those things. Clarity of communication, boundaries, knowing what I want and clearly communicating that to another being. So horses are prey animals, as I've said, and what that means is that they have a fight or flight instinct. So if something happens in their environment, horses respond to it. And humans also have a fight or flight instinct, and then we also do a fix or freeze. So what I'd like you to think about as you sit today and as you watch and as you step into the round pen with the horse is to think about when your emotions are elevated, either here or if you have a disagreement with your partner, think about which you tend toward. Is it more of a fight energy, which is a bigger, more toward energy? Or is it a flight energy where you have a tendency to put up a wall or shut down or disappear? Or do you tend more toward a fix energy, which is agreeing to do something even when it's not what you really want to do, and then you might be resentful about it in the back? So what else can I tell you about horses? One of the things that we want to think about in terms of engaging with horses is safety. and we want to keep you safe today. So when you think about that, the safest place to position yourself is at the horse's shoulder. Horses can kick out about twice the length of their hind legs, so you don't want to stand behind them or to the side of them, just to keep yourself safe. This is the safest place, is at their shoulder. Now you can come up and you can say hello to him and you can snuggle with him, and they really like that. You want to be careful if you put your hand under his muzzle to keep your hand flat, because horses like carrots and carrots can resemble your fingers. So you don't want to stick your fingers in his mouth. But you can talk to him, and they're very kind animals and they have no intention of wanting to hurt you at all. But sometimes something might spook them in their environment and they respond to that, and you just want to make sure to be out of the way. Horses cannot see directly in front of them, and they cannot see directly behind them. So you just want to be aware of that when you're moving around in the space with him. You can see where horses are paying attention based on their ears. So right now he is paying attention to something down the way, so I just want to make sure to get out of his way and give him lots of space just in case something excites him. And we are also going to be giving you a long line to work with today, and this is just an expression of your energy. It helps you to be able to have a bigger expression and to keep your distance from the horse so that you don't have to get too close. Now, the one thing that I'd like you just to be aware of is the clip on the end of the long line. This is the thing that's most likely to hurt you today. So just keep this in one hand and don't throw this part out, because it can knock you or it can hurt the horse. So this is the one thing to be aware of. Now, when you're working with horses, they have a driving zone which is behind their shoulder line. And so when I want to create movement, I ask him from behind, and I just can use my line to get him moving. And sometimes you just have to be kind of persistent. Here we go. And I'm not going to ask him to move too much in here because it's a little bit slippery. Now the one thing you want to kind of remember is to stay in the middle. You don't want to get between him and the fence line, because you might get squished in there and that's just not safe. So that's another safety thing. You're safest in the middle of the round pen. And then he'll come back over and join us. And so you just want to be aware of where he is and where you are. But as you saw, sometimes you have to be a little bit persistent and to continue to ask. And that's okay. As I said, there's no right or wrong today. So really the intention is for you to come in and think about anything that's going on in your relationship, or thinking about the way that you show up in your relationship that you might want to focus on and get some support with. Django is here to support you with that today, and I'm here to support you as well, and we're all going to support each other. So something that I'd like you to do is think about an intention that you want to set when you come into the round pen. So if I just take a minute to get grounded and think about what I'd like to address or think about in my time here with Django today, it might be just being really clear in my communication. Knowing what I want, being in touch with that, and then being able to clearly communicate it to Django. So I've already showed you a little bit. I'm just gonna see, and again, I'm just gonna have him stay pretty much walking because it's a little bit slick today, but we'll see if I can be clear with my communication and demonstrate to you some of the things that you might be able to play with while you're here in the round pen with the horse. So we'll just work with that. If I stay behind him, that's where his engine is. Oh, let's clearly communicate that we want to go the other way. There we go. He understood what I wanted. But I stay in the middle and oh, he's hungry. Tell him that I want him to move forward from behind his shoulder. That's the driving zone. And then if I want him to slow down, I can move in front of him. He's very responsive. So that tells me that I clearly communicated and that he was really listening and paying attention. And now I'm going to ask him to go the other way. So some of the things you can play with are the tempo, getting him to move more quickly, slow down, to follow you and join with you. This is about building a relationship and having a conversation. So you're going to have the opportunity to play with that today. Just notice what shows up for you and what the feedback is that you're getting from your equine partner. And most importantly, have fun.